being a menace to society again. But what's good, YouTube? It's your boy FLYBOIIANT here. We back with another video. This is the title. Reacting to Stephen A. Smith. Supposedly he said some blasphemous things about Damian Lillard being traded, and I want to see what he talking about. I want to see what they're talking about because I didn't get to watch it this morning. You know, I was at school or whatever. Oh, let's see what he says. You know, Stephen A. Smith, the New Yorker, New York fan. He's a super fan. He just hides it. But let's get into this.
Blazers do with Lillard?
Well, they should trade him. Me personally, I think they should trade him because
they do need to trade that man because he ain't happy.
I think that he is a superstar. I don't think his stock has ever been higher, and I don't think the Blazers have ever been in a position to get as much as they could for him at this particular moment in time.
That's
now,
a fact.
I will openly confess to you that I'm incredibly biased. There is no player that I have wanted in New York more than Damian Lillard.
My boy already started. You see where he went with it, right? You see how he segued straight to we need to see Dame in New York. You see how he segued right to it. He threw that right off the gate. 26 seconds in, he ready.
I'm talking about a closer. I'm talking about a sniper and a marksman extraordinaire.
That's a fact.
I'm talking about a guy that has the swag that is made for New York City. Now, in face value, it doesn't look like they would have the assets for him.
We don't.
Obviously, with Julius Randle and R.J. Barrett as the cornerstones of your franchise,
yep.
What do you have to offer? I would remind everybody that the New York Knicks are expected to have in excess of $70 million in cap space.
It's a lot of money.
They can absorb his salary.
They could.
I would give them anything they wanted.
What?
I would give them Barrett. I would give them Randall. I would give them Obi Toppin. I would give them Mitchell Robinson. I would give them Emmanuel Quickly. I would give them not one, not two, but 3 first-round picks. I would give the Portland Trail Blazers all that in a bag of chips just to get Damian Lillard in New York City. That's how badly I would want him if I am the New York Knicks.
Oh, heck no. Oh, heck no. No. That's not what we're gonna do. Steven, you had me. You had me for a second. We was here. We was there together. We came to the city. That'd be beautiful. But you was right in the beginning. We don't have no assets. What do you mean you would trade any and everybody from the Knicks for Dame? Do you not remember what happened when we traded for Melo? First of all, let me throw this right now. I love Melo. Melo's my favorite player. I wasn't even mad at the trade because we did give up key players we had that year. But guess what? They didn't turn out that great anyway towards the end of their career. But in doing so, Melo had no help. So Melo struggled a little bit, but he did his thing. But team-wise, there was nobody to back him up really. For real, and Amari was hurt. So, with that being said, why would we trade our young core, most of the young core, for one player? He'll be here putting up 50 points a game for no reason. He might as well stay in Portland to do that. Stephen A., come on now. Was this for clicks, bro? You had to do this for clicks. This something you do when you just trying to get people like me upset. That's what it was. That's okay, I got you.
And for those that think that Damian Lillard wouldn't ever want to be a New York Knick, I'm here to tell you he'd rather be a New York Knick than a Los Angeles Laker. He'd rather be in the New York market than the LA market.
I bet
he ain't
would.
interested in joining those super
LeBron
teams.
or
And more
Kawhi.
importantly than that, you know, his mentality would likely be, I could get dudes to come and play with me if I were in New York City. But there are other options. Dallas has to move Porzingis. You could put him in Dallas with Luka Doncic.
That don't make no sense.
There are a plethora of other options that I understand.
That don't make no sense because then Luka would have to play off ball, and that's not Luka game for real.
Understand that. I'm just talking about what my preference would be because I haven't spoken to him about this at this particular moment in time. But in the end, what it comes down to is this. If you are the Portland Trail Blazers, you've had him and C.J. McCollum together for years. I've got a lot of love for C.J. McCollum. I think that he's a big-time baller, but I have told him.
I can't believe he really said he'll trade R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle, Obi Toppin, and everybody on the Knicks roster for Dame Lillard. I can't believe he said that on national television.
And Damian Lillard to their face over the years, which they both would confirm to anybody who asked, that I don't believe those two should remain together. I think they've had their chance. I think that, unfortunately, with what both of them bring to the table, they're an elite backcourt max who could score on anybody.
They'll get further on the playoffs if there's in the Eastern Conference than they would with us having Dame after we done traded everybody. Who we gonna have? Reggie Bullock? Nerlens Noel? Like, we would literally have to give the 19th to 21st, probably a second rounder. Barrett. They're not gonna want Randall because that don't make no sense. Obi. Bobby Mitch. Now what we got? We got Lillard, we got Alec Burke, we got Reggie Bullock, we got Randall, and we got Nerlens Noel. And we have to re-sign Burks and Nerlens Noel and Reggie. Come on. That's stupid, bro. Use your common sense. Like,
but defensively, it could be a liability, et cetera, et cetera. So I think I would trade one of them to use them to get the assets necessary to pair with the other. I've been on the record, Max. I wouldn't want, Damian Lillard. I'm sorry, not Damian Lillard. Ben Simmons going there. I would love for Philly to get their hands on Damian Lillard, but I'm not sure Ben Simmons would work in Portland. I have been on the record, Max. I've stated this publicly. I would even consider trading Anthony Davis from the Los Angeles Lakers to get Damian Lillard with LeBron.
bro, did you just say you would trade the Lakers all-star power forward, injury-prone all-star power forward Anthony Davis for Dame Lillard? Don't get me wrong, I think Dame is better than AD too. But that's a 7-foot power forward who can stretch the floor, rebound, and play defense. Are you serious right now? You gonna have LeBron having to play power forward again, and he clearly should not be doing that at all. You need to be conserving that man's energy for the season to get into the playoffs. You crazy? What? Who you gonna have after you done traded AD? You ain't got no. Marc Gasol gonna be at start? They're gonna be that man? Come on.
LeBron James, because this season, Anthony Davis missed more games.
LeBron already the point guard. What Dame gonna do? Play spot up?
Just as many games as Damian Lillard.
Dame will work in Clippers land. It will be better for the Clippers to have. It will be better with him as Dame and Kawhi than Paul George and Kawhi. Why? Because Paul George probably in the same position. So I be feeling like sometimes they be throwing each other off sometimes. Dame at point guard with because Kawhi want to play off ball. He just want to have the ball during certain stretches of the game when he's ready to like turn up. Other than that, I'd rather have Dame with Kawhi or Dame with Paul George. I'd rather do that than have Dame and LeBron. That don't even sound right. I don't even think that would work for real. Curry is more of a player you would put with LeBron because Curry could run off screens and all that. But I wouldn't trade no AD. Granted, he can't stay healthy, but I'd rather keep him. You never know. He might have he might have been got hurt in this season, and then he gonna get healthy or something. He might be healthy for the next 3 years. You never know.
Missed his entire career.
Oh my
I would
gosh.
actually consider that if I were Portland and I were the Los Angeles Lakers.
Stephen Smith smoking crack today.
Yeah, good luck selling Portland to AD.
Exactly.
Portland's in the Pacific Northwest. It's tucked away. The games start late. It's not a huge cosmopolitan area. It's not a warm weather state.
That don't
and it's
mean
not a
nothing.
no-income tax state. No one's going to want to play there. That's the problem. Free agents are looking for warm weather, no income tax state, or
New York ain't warm. We get cold out here, B.
and of course they're looking for great teams. If Portland had an amazing team, that would be different. But truly juggernaut type teams. Or they're looking for major cosmopolitan areas where they feel like they could broadcast their brand and become global icons in a way to set them up to be billionaires, you know. None of that's Portland. So as long as Damian Lillard's in Portland, he's stuck in neutral. We've seen that. But one of the reasons for that is as great as he is, Stephen A., you keep talking about shorter players. I agree with you about it, by the way. I just think, well, that's basketball. If you're shorter, it counts against you. It's almost never has a player under 6'4" been the best player on a championship team. And when they have, Steph Curry in 2015, there's always a reason for it. The other team had major injuries, something like that. So Lillard is, at best, probably the second best player on a championship team. The problem is he's a top dozen player. There aren't that many guys as good as him. So when I brought up Philadelphia the other day, Stephen, it's because Embiid, there's a guy. Embiid and Lillard, maybe.
Embiid and Lillard would be fired. Embiid and Kawhi would be fired. I give you that. Right now, I'm rocking with him. But
you can win a championship.
Stephen A. just aggravated me. I got a headache again.
You need help, and you have to hope that Brooklyn doesn't just stay healthy. But maybe. Otherwise, how many guys are there? LeBron, you bring up the Lakers, you're right. Kawhi, KD, but, they're already set, it looks like, over there. Giannis, but he's pretty well set up. There aren't that many guys.
Dang, with Giannis, that will work because we got to get the ball out of Giannis' hands.
If Lillard went to a place like Denver and they held on to Jokic and Murray, there you go. But that's how hard it is to win a championship in a normal season. This is not a normal season.
Anybody but the Lakers.
The Knicks, if they traded everything they had for him, Stephen A.,
we ain't doing nothing.
In the same position he is in Portland,
but worse.
That he would be able to sell New York to other superstars. But that's what he would have to do. Maybe a young guy on his way up who hits the market. There are guys like obviously Zion and John, or guys who are more advanced.
We're not getting Zion without Barrett. Put it like that. I'm not getting that right now. Zion don't care about none of that. He wants to play when he's happy and his friends are. You can tell he's a young boy. They mindset different. They want to have fun and they want to do it with their friends. That's simple. You trade Barrett, no Zion. Take that off the list.
Tatum or Donovan Mitchell or Devin Booker or someone like that. But
well, the Knicks can somehow still Tatum.
Lillard plus another dude at least as good as him, if not better, and the right situation, and then maybe you win a championship. It ain't easy.
Well, listen, it's going to be easier in the East than it is in the West. That's number one. Number two, unlike Portland, as you articulated, in New York and other places, he'd be able to attract people to want to come and play with him. Because I think that if he were in the right market, you'd see people clamoring to play with Damian Lillard. Make no mistake about that. So we can't ignore that.
I don't think so.
And I think that ultimately, if you're the Portland Trailblazers, you got to ask yourself what you're trying to do here. Are you trying to be respectable enough where you have a superstar that in the local market is so attractive that people are going to come out and clamor to see you, but you don't necessarily position yourself to compete for a championship since you've been bounced out in the first round 4 times in the last 5 years? Or do you reach the conclusion that I think is somewhat obvious, that C.J. McCollum and Damian Lillard together don't work on a championship level? They'll work to win you games, to be competitive, et cetera, but both of them deserve, Damian Lillard more so than C.J. McCollum, but both of them deserve to be the face.
Not gonna lie to y'all, Stephen A. Smith was on drugs today. He was smoking crack. Okay? Because I done heard some dumb takes. This is top 5 for me. Personally, as a Knicks fan, top 5 on things he said about the Knicks. Top 5 wildest things I've ever heard him say. Trade everybody. What? What we gonna have, bro? Who we gonna have? Y'all already don't play Knox. So Dame, Knox, who's our shooting guard? Who's on the who we have under contract? If we can't re-sign Noel Burks and Reggie Bullock and Rose, who's our starting lineup? Well, we're gonna have Dame with Vildoza. Oh, Dame, quickly Knox. I don't think we can trade Randall, and we're gonna have to trade Mitch for Dame because they gonna want Mitch. All right, that's the video, bro. I can't take it. If you made it this far with me, hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment on what you think, because this ain't it, bro. Stephen A. Smith is bugging. I'm not trading the farm. I don't care what everybody says. I'm not trading the farm. I'm not trading the farm for a 31-year-old point guard. Nope. He's gonna be out the window in 3 years, bro. It's a waste of time. I'm out.